Here we go. Welcome back to another edition of Inside the Lab with your host, the one and only CP. As you can see, we got the commish, Joey Castleberry, with us. What's going on, Joe?
Chris, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, man. It's, nice snowy Saturday. A lot of
Snowy
real.
Saturday. I got up this morning at like 7 o'clock for work. My boss didn't tell me I was off, so I thought I was gonna have off. So I wake up, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I get outside, I start driving, and I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way that she didn't cancel this shit.
Right. Shit
Like
was
I'm
coming
like,
down.
dude, I spun out like twice, and I was like,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm just gonna call her. She was like, yeah, I forgot to notify you. And I was like, all right, well, word.
I'm glad I didn't
I
fucking get all the
got
way
myself
there.
started then. And I got some Tito's and Coke here.
Ah, yeah.
Got a nice little Founders IPA, so I'm ready to have
Ooh,
a nice Saturday, man. This is my favorite day of the year.
it is. It
Nothing brings
really
me
is.
more joy than doing the all league selections. I mean, I think everybody else enjoys it. So
Oh, I love it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. We'll do the all league selections. You're gonna hand out a couple awards, and then we'll get into the playoff previews at the end.
yeah, so the only thing with the playoff previews is I have no clue what's going on.
Right.
I don't even know if I'm going to make the playoffs, and
I think you're good though, to be
sounds like
honest.
I'm not from what Cooper said, but it is what it is. If I don't make it,
I mean, you ripped off how many games in a row to
like
get there?
five and like five tough ones. I had to beat Arden,
Right.
I had to beat Jawan, I had to beat Coop, and I was kind of battling with Jawan and Chicago and Masio, and Masio kept winning me. He kept winning these
Right.
one score games. So
He won that
I
big
watched
game.
all of them, and I came away super impressed with him. So even if he does make it over me, like you know what, he might be upsetting somebody round one. I mean, look, you just saw his last game with Coach Ardman. I mean,
Right. That was a battle.
it's a yearly 14-3, 15-2 player, and he got the better end of him. So it could be an interesting playoffs.
Yeah. So like, what now for like the all league selections? Like, what do you? How do you come up with them? You don't go strictly by stats, or do you go strictly by stats?
I go a lot by stats.
Okay.
If there's somebody that put up really good numbers, but I know that for example, somebody like a Marcellus or Mark that was on auto for a good chunk of the season,
Right.
they will get penalized a little bit.
Right. Right.
I'll take into consideration if I feel like there's a close tie between players. I'll go look at see if they played any computer games and what their stats were there. A combination of a lot of things. How this team finish. How big of an impact player was he for them? Everybody's got a pretty good idea of some of the numbers that receivers put up against
Right.
their teams and all that. So
All right.
yeah, it should be pretty good.
So let's just dive. Let's just dive right in. And what do you got here?
So we're gonna start with the top, the
All right.
first team
First
selection.
team.
All right. So MML All League first team. Huge honor to be on this list. First quarterback I have is Jaleel Fowler from the Detroit Lions. You know, he put up absurd numbers. I'm looking at him right now. He threw for just under 8,000 yards, 93 touchdowns, 37 picks. It was like week 4, and I was doing real well with my rookie quarterback, trying to dev him up, and I was like, all right, let me go see what the field looks like. And I go to the league leaders, and Arden's got 60 touchdowns. And I was like, what?
Right.
Yeah. Look, this is probably the best prospect we've seen come in the MML. Coach Raven, the Titans, took him first overall in the inaugural rookie draft. Came out as a superstar. He had the throw power, the speed. He had everything you want.
Right.
Landed in good hands where Ardman is going to make he's going to be an X factor next year. He's still 25 years old.
Right.
So this kid's an absolute problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
93 touchdowns, 37 picks, 400 and a little under 470 yards a game. That's real. That's real deal. Into the second spot, we have Josh Allen, Arizona. Another great year. A shade under 6,700 yards. It's funny yelling, repeating these numbers because they're just absurd.
Right.
88 touchdowns, 50 picks. Look, Cardinals probably got the best offense in football. Huge
Yeah,
runs. He's got Anthony Schwartz, McLaurin. He's got this new kid, Taylor Jenkins. 2 X factor running backs, and he's only better in the postseason. So
Right. And real quick, like these numbers are a little ridiculous, but I think like we've gotten used to it now. Like because let's be honest, like over the last 3-4 years, like originally it was a little like, oh, dude threw for 8,000 yards. Now it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, look, we've seen unbelievable stats put up in this league.
Right.
And I wish we had I wish we kept the records of all of this.
Yeah.
From the start, so like all-time season highs and whatnot. I think that would be really cool. All right, my last quarterback on the first team list. This was a tough one. A lot of good candidates, but I went with Lamar Jackson, Jags. It's not like Tornado put up humongous numbers with him. He threw for a little over 5,600 yards, 58 touchdowns.
Yeah.
25 picks. I think he did a little bit with them on the ground, too.
Right.
With Jacksonville, I think they were 15-2 to end the year. So
another solid season.
Another solid season, man. I mean, I played against Tornetta. I played him like week 9 or 10, and I just got done like a 9-hour shift at work, and it was like a Friday night. And he was like, dude, play me right now. I can't play tomorrow. I can't play Sunday. So I was like, all right, fuck it. So I played him, and I had like an X Factor depth chart game with Isaiah Simmons.
Right.
I was just like getting on the edge with him, trying to rush around, and I couldn't do it.
It's tough with those.
Polishing me, but I mean, Lamar was a problem. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
It's hard to get a handle of.
It's tough, real quick. It's tough with them X Factor defensive games because literally all like you don't even like all you're trying to do is get it.
That was like my 5th time having an Isaiah Simmons depth chart game to get to a superstar.
Yeah.
And I think the other 4 were against female, the Cardinals.
Right.
Every time. And it's like holding the less to 150 pass yards.
Which is not going to happen.
I can't do that. So
right.
I can't even play for it. All right, we're going to head to the running back list now. All league first team running backs. Leading us off, Derrick Henry, Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Led the league in rushing. A little under 2K yards. He averaged 6.3 yards a carry, 32 total touchdowns. And I think we all saw what this guy did at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Him and Coach Massey, really saw eye to eye. And look, his formula at the end of the season was play solid defense and give the ball to Derrick Henry. And you can win games like that. That's what Black Daddy Trap tried doing, but he wasn't very good defensively. And I think Coach Massey, especially being under Coach Forrest for such a long time, he's got that Taddy DNA in him.
Right.
He's getting there. And we'll talk about this team a little bit more as this goes on. But Derrick Henry, I mean, wow. Second, we have Tony Pollard. These next two are going to get some eyeballs thrown at me. I mean, look, Tony Pollard, again, like this guy just averages over 6 yards a carry every year. He's always, in that like 500 to 800 yard receiving total. Always has 20-plus touchdowns. I mean, if you look at the player, he's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a 99. I'm going to go to him right now. He's like a 99 X Factor with
I was looking at him earlier.
7 speed.
Yeah, he's a stud.
So, 95 speed, 96 acceleration. So, I mean, he's awesome. And B-Hegs knows it. It's his second year having him.
And he's kind of young, too. Isn't he only probably like 20?
He's probably 27.
Yeah.
Maybe 20. But look, when Pollard gets the ball, New York's pretty tough. It was a bad year for the Jets. And by the way, Coach Hangelman wanted me to address this right away.
He's been DMing me.
Eagles, man.
Well, I was looking at it real quick. I mean, I was looking at he's got a way better roster than I have assembled over here.
Oh, no.
And
close, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's fair for me to like give him.
He just wants to be the Eagles more than anything in the entire.
So I was gonna hit him up, and I mean I'm open to it if he wants. Like I get it, but I'm gonna hit him up and see if he wants to trade some of his players for mine. That way, it's not totally, because I definitely want my picks because I obviously have the number 1 overall pick. So
yeah.
So we'll see. I think we can get a deal done. I'm still on the fence because I love my birds too, but we might be able to work something out.
Yeah, you haven't treated the birds well though.
I have not, and I think he would be a better. I know how much he loves the
Better
birds.
suited. Better
Yeah,
suited. Yeah.
so we're gonna
It
work
would,
something
it would
out.
change everything for him, and I actually think he would actually. I
Be
think it's a
more.
good fit in that division with him. With like,
Yeah.
I think him and Dale would battle. Levi is a tough player. He would make it a nice little three-headed,
Right.
2-2 monster.
Right.
Not that not that I think lowly of you.
Listen. I haven't performed well this Madden, so I mean, I don't. I haven't. I don't
know there's
have.
more in the tank for you.
There's definitely is. I got my guy now, so we're good.
All right, let me get to number 3 on the running back list, and this is the one where people are going to be like, "Wait, why? He ran for like 400 less yards than me." We're going to go Devin Mason, Atlanta Falcons.
Kid's a stud.
He had 213 carries on the year, and he ran for over 1,600 yards. Averaging 7.6 yards a carry, 16 touchdowns on the ground. Every time I watch this guy, it's like 9 carries for 110 yards.
Right.
I know Andrew Jaffe in Carolina always talks about Devin Mason. He kills him, kills everybody, man.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about him is I go to these running backs, and your guy's like this too, but he's 5'8", 209. So he's got that, he kind of hides a little bit. He's short. He's got helico slate to him. I think he's like a 95 speed. And I think he's a pretty good receiver too. So this guy's dynamite. And I felt obligated, especially, Atlanta's going to be a playoff team if all goes accordingly with that tiebreaker. And I think Coach Forrest deserves that.
And also, real quick, Coach Forrest has something to prove because on the podcast the other day when he was on it, we were talking about he had 2 games left, and he said he would be embarrassed if he lost both games to make it close because I know tiebreaker, and he lost both. So now he's got a little bit of he needs to show a little something here coming into the into the playoffs.
Yeah. Atlanta is probably going to get Arizona to start.
It's going to be tough.
We'll talk about the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's a tough matchup. It's what you get though, man.
Right.
He got a little shaky at the end of the year. I thought he was going to swallow up that 3 seed. He just kept losing.
Right.
3-4 games. So obviously not, and didn't end on a great note for him. He's got a lot of young talent. Kerry King. The kid, Jordan Owens, he's got Andrew Riley. We'll see, man. I'm excited for him. All right, now we're going to head to the receivers. Number 1, Chris Olave, if that's.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
176 catches, 3,600 yards, 43 touchdowns. Like I've been saying, Ardeman's a wide receiver factor. He brings in somebody new every year, gets him to a 95 X factor. They have 96 speed somehow. Like this guy was drafted in I think he traded for him, actually, from Ahmad. And, he's an absolute animal,
Now, did he come out?
Arden likes doing those little bubble screens.
Yes.
That trip flex bubble screen. So you see those games where he's got like 15 for 380 and 6.
Right.
He does a lot of that. He does a lot of crossers. So, his targets are very high efficient. It's not like he's just sending them deep. He's very methodical about the way he gets in the ball. But look, 2 years into the league, it's his second year, and this guy's an animal.
So did when he got drafted, was he an X factor already, or was he was a star or normal?
He was a star.
Okay.
I would have to ask Ahmad on that.
Ahmad drafted him. Okay.
Traded him, yeah. So in the 2 spot. Sam Forsythe, New England Patriots, 117 catches, 3,239 yards, 43 touchdowns. Sam Forsythe, I remember it was the first draft, and I remember I traded up a little bit. I had like the 11th pick, and this was when Bleachy was the Patriots.
Yep.
And they drafted him, this guy. I think his name was something like Dwight Ellington or something from like Auburn. And like a year later is when Sam Forsythe took over the Patriots and renamed him to his name.
Am I losing you?
What's that?
I thought I was losing you there.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
everybody, this has like been the hidden gem of the MML for years, and a lot of people have known it. You know, people always used to like hop in Sam's DMs like, "Yo, how can I get your guy?" And Seth was kind of like his little protector, bodyguard, making sure that he didn't trade him. But look, I mean, 98 speed, 94 excel, 90.
Oh, wow.
It's nice to finally see this guy in a good spot.
Yeah.
He was able to showcase, you know, what absurdly talented. This is basically Tyreek Hill.
Right. I didn't know he had 98 speed.
You know,
Holy shit.
5'9", 180. He's an absolute burner. So
Yeah.
this kid's going to be a problem for the next decade or so for New England.
Especially with a good.
We're going to talk about New England a lot today.
Yeah.
Coach Dave.
Done a great job up there.
Great job. What's the what are you drinking over there, big guy?
I got a Coca-Cola. Girlfriend bought an extra large Coca-Cola, and then I got a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
Okay. All right. Now, Slim Reaper is the third receiver I have. Dolphins, 125 catches, a little over 3,000 yards, 34 touchdowns. For those that don't know, this is Devontae Smith, coach of the Dolphins. Anthony Sandler loves the Eagles. He drafted Devontae Smith and throws to him just about every play. So as long as that continues to happen, he'll be a first teamer.
Yeah.
You know, he has 125 catches. I would say he's probably got about 600 targets on.
Yeah, without question.
Which is fun, man. Look, Sand has his guys, and he's playing to have a good time with those guys. So I have no issue with that.
Nope.
Fourth receiver, Chad Ochocinco, Cleveland Browns. 96 catches, 2,847 yards, 35 touchdowns. You know, Taddy, I guess, had a down year, and I think he went 16-1. You know, you didn't really hear his name much other than when he played the B-Mill week 2 or 3 and handled business. Other than that, it's been, you know, crickets, quiet.
Yeah.
Which is usually when Taddy gets scariest, when he's quiet.
I think he's when we had him on the podcast, I mean, you could tell like he's locked in right now. You know,
oh yeah,
he's really locked in.
All right, first tight end off the board, first team, and I feel kind of bad about this one, but it's Jose Murphy, rookie, Denver Broncos. Does he deserve to be on the first team? Probably not. I'm curious to how many games Mark played.
He probably only played about.
But he came on strong at the end. Mark did. He was playing his games. He was energetic. It was funny. He like rejoined the chat and was like, "I'm back, bitches."
Right.
And then like 20 minutes later, he was in his game and he started freaking out like, "Yo,
right.
Throw against 9 fucking drop."
Right.
So
right.
It was funny with him.
Yeah, it is.
But look, 122 catches, a little under 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns. Rookie tight end, he's an X factor. Like an 81 X factor. So, you know, as long as Mark continues to progress offensively, I mean, this is a linchpin to his organization for the next decade or so.
Right.
Hopefully, you know, I've been talking about Dorian Peralta, the quarterback, for a while. He had an awful year. Man, I would love to have that guy in San Francisco. But,
he's got like a 98 throw power.
Oh, yeah, he's big time.
It's a stud.
All right, now we're going to head to our second tight end, which is George Kittle, Buffalo Bills, 62 catches, a little over 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. Coach Jaffe, Buffalo had a great year. I think they finished 13-4, probably going to be the 3 or 4 seed. Look, take away that little Florida trip, and we're looking at like a 15-2 Buffalo Bills season. So, you know, I mean, look, he only lost to Taddy by 10 this year. George Kittle. Now, MJ has a lot of people coming up on this second team that could have been first teamers. So he had a lot of great seasons individually. And then, you know, obviously Buffalo had a dynamite year. They were outscoring opponents by like 20 points a game through the midway point. But
yeah, he definitely had a good year. I watched a couple of his streams, and he definitely turned it on.
Getting better. We're going to head to the defensive side of the ball, and we have our D-line, 3 D-linemen. you guys should all have a pretty good understanding of how my formula works in terms of how many quarterbacks, running backs. Everything is three, besides there's four receivers, two tight ends, and then two safeties.
Right.
I don't know why I made it like that. It's just always been like it.
Fuck it. I think it's good the way it
in
is.
the future,
Joe.
I might start adding like some flex spots. But all right, to the defensive side of the ball, first D lineman, it's the same guy every year, Danielle Hunter. Daniel. I always say Danielle, but it's Daniil. It's Daniil Hunter.
Yeah.
Who's actually a stud in real life. But look, New York Giants. I got to look at this guy's career stats because it might have been his best year this year.
He's a beast
I mean,
on that D line.
26 and a half sacks.
That's a
He had
crazy number.
25 and a half the year before, 12 the year before. Must have been a contract issue, and then 21 the year before, 11 the year before. So I mean, look, he put up career best numbers.
Right.
This guy's insane. He's got like that rare speed on the edge where like it's so hard to play Dale and scramble, right? Because Daniil Hunter just gets off the block, and even if you double team him, it's fucking insane. It's off the block right away. Contains the edge. All right, now with our second, Bradley Chubb, Cleveland Browns. You know, formerly a linebacker that Taddy made it in. 20 and a half sacks. You know, Taddy gets up by a lot. Usually just sits in a nice zone or some cover two man and just takes away the entire field. And his D linemen just eat.
Yep.
Every year, you know, he'll come out with random D linemen that just come out
Right.
and feast.
Right.
It'll be like 74 normals.
Right.
You know, obviously doing these power ranking, all leagues. It's cool because I get a feel for what each team is, kind of. And just from looking at Taddy's stats, I would say this is probably his best defensive year yet. He's got a lot of guys who are putting up big numbers. All right, now with D lineman on the first team, we're going to go with Kwity Paye, Seattle Seahawks. 18 sacks on the year. We know Seattle was dynamite this year, 15-2 record, first seed in the NFC. I've played Cooper a lot from being in his division, and this guy's an absolute animal. It's a shame because he originally had him and Myles Garrett. And
really?
Traded Myles Garrett to get. I don't know who he got from Robert. I know we got J.J. Watt, but I think he might have got like another pick. I think he might have got like 2 first-rounders and just did not hit on him. I think he got like that Trent Williamson dude who he tried.
Right.
But like Patrick Willis, it just didn't work. But look, Kwity Paye, this is one of the best picks from the OG draft. Could probably like round 15 plus, and he's one of the best linemen in football right now. Let's see what he is. He's a 95 X Factor, 26 years old.
Damn.
Big time power rusher. So, all right, now we're going to head to the linebackers. And the first name off the board, to no surprise to many, actually probably a surprise, but not to Andrew Jaffe. It's Al Ringer.
Oh, dude, just
linebacker from Alabama. One of the best rookie seasons we've seen from a linebacker since I'd say probably Patrick Willis with the Niners back in 2005. But look, 108 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 11 interceptions. He had 6 deflections. He scored a touchdown on the year. People were concerned with Ringer a little bit because of his history at Bama. You know, they played middle linebacker. He switched to off ball, moved to the D line for a little. He got in a fight with his roommate. You know, so the character concerns were there. But, you know, we know Coach Jaffe's past. He likes to take chances on guys. Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt.
Right.
Al Ringer was the next one. He's really taking him under his wing a little bit. And
now,
go ahead.
Did Al Ringer lead the league? I'm pretty sure he led the league in tackles this year, right?
He did not. He was like, looks like he's about 5th or 6th. But
I thought he was. For some reason, I thought he was up there.
And look, like Carolina really lost Denario Davis last year in free agency.
Right.
He was kind of the captain of this defense, and this
right.
Ringer come in right away and just grab this locker room by the fucking balls. It's got a little Ray Lewis to him.
Right. He hits the shit out of people too.
I looked at his forced fumbles. He only had one, which was concerning. But now he's a dog. He's a dog.
He really is.
And then to lead us up into our second linebacker, we have Devin White, Rams, 73 tackles, 11 picks, 2 sacks. You know, not the incredible numbers we're used to. Like, for some reason, Jawan has like a boner for Devin White. It's probably assuming because of that 3-4.
He does.
Speed and everything. I remember, you know, I've played, like he said yesterday on the pod, we've probably played over 50 times.
Yes.
So I've played Devin White about 50 times, and he's probably got about 50 to 60 career interceptions on me. So, like, when I played, not as much now because the game is a little bit different than last year. But when I used to play him last year, it was like every single play was like I would have like a PowerPoint up for every play call, like what to do, where Devin White goes where, and it was unfair. And you know, nowadays especially this year with the 3-3-5 and all the replacements, everybody's trying to look for more speed. You don't really see big time years out of linebackers like we once used to.
Right.
Devin White, you know, 11 picks. He's usually in that 20 to 25 range. But, you know, what are you going to say, man? I mean, every time I play against this guy, he's everywhere. So,
he's all over the place.
You know, I talked about the idea of doing like an MML all-league, all-time. He would be the first linebacker on the ball.
Yeah, you would have to 100%. Give it to him. Yeah.
All right, so this 3 spot now, we have Vontae Mack, Jags. Not many people know about this guy. He's a sophomore who was actually a first-teamer last year. Not much of a pass coverage or strictly a rusher. He had 13 sacks on the year. I think he had like 16 last year. So this guy's for real. He's got speed on the edge. Played in the SEC for 4 years beforehand. So Coach Tornado nailed that pick. And now, with that said, we're going to head to the secondary. We have 3 cornerbacks here. First one, Greg Newsome, Seattle Seahawks. Potentially the most interceptions ever by a cornerback, not safety. He had 17. I think Jair Alexander might have had like 17 or 19 last year. But 45 tackles, 17 picks, a sack. I've played against this guy. Like, he just got so good so fast. Like, I think he comes out as a superstar. And I always noticed him on the field when I would play Coop. But, like, now it's like he's got the big X. Like, he's like 95 speed. Might be the best corner in football. And let me look at his age. I think he's
definitely up there.
25. He's only 25. I mean, this is probably the best cornerback in the game right now. So, and, you know, Cooper's got a nasty, nasty secondary with a ton of guys. And it is really hard to throw the ball on him right now. So, like, if, you know, when I played him the first time and it was just like throw, trying to get yards with McIntosh, he just doesn't allow it.
Right.
Very good. And I played on yesterday to, you know, fighting for the playoffs, and I ran the ball a lot more. You really got to stay balanced against Coop. And even then, man, it's like,
he's a good defensive player.
Yeah, he is. At a Northwestern, I wanted the Eagles to take a look at him, but yeah, Coop probably has the best defense in the league this year. I would say.
I'd agree.
He's done a really well job. Good job. All right, on the second, we have Tre'Davious White, New England Patriots. Chris Daig, over the summer, says we need to address our secondary. Goes out, trades for a guy, Tre'Davious White, been a Pro Bowler now for 3-4 years. He's bounced around a little bit in this league. I know he was with the Golden Eagles. He was with Cincinnati. Don't know why, because this guy's an absolute stud, and he showed it this year. 75 tackles, 16 picks, straight lockdown one side of the field for Coach Daig's new-look Patriots that are playoff bound.
You know, it's funny because about 3 weeks ago, or 4 games ago, he probably had, I think it was an 18 or 22% chance to make the playoffs.
Is that what it was?
He had to win. Yeah, he had to win out, and I'm pretty sure he won out, and now he's slipped in there.
Yeah, man. I've only seen him play like one game. It was against Carolina, and I came away. This was when he was like not doing well. I think he might have been like 3-4. And I watched him play Jaffe, and Jaffe ended up like making a really nice comeback at the end. But I was like, this guy actually looks like he's getting better. So I
That
don't
was
know.
when Jaffe onside kicked it,
Something
right?
tells me that like Cam, Chicago, and Minnesota are like tickling each other right now in somebody's base, like on YouTube, practicing against each other. So we'll see. I'm a New
That's
England
funny.
fan, man. I'm a New England fan.
Yeah, he's definitely turned some heads, you know?
All right, so let me get this last corner off, and I don't know how to pronounce his first name, and he's had some controversy. Is Javelin Goudry? I know I'm not pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
I know who the player is in real life. I just don't know how to pronounce that.
Is he on the Lions,
He's
right?
on the Lions.
Yeah.
Big year. 103 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 13 picks. You know, so I always like putting corners on that do a little bit of everything. A couple guys
Right.
that will, you know, not just sit in coverage all game and pass rush. I always like to see teams with like multiple guys that are rushing rather than the same like cover 3, cover 4.
Right,
I
right.
always try and mix up my blitzes. But yeah, if I pronounce the name right, this is one of the guys that Ardman traded for from the Vikings right before he retired. So there was some
A lot of controversy.
Coach Warren was on me and BMO about, like, why doesn't he have to trade him back? Blah, 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 all this shit. Ardman did reach out a little bit about it. Nobody really. Oh, Seth just said Force Win Raiders. Do I advance it right now?
Are you advancing live on air?
I don't know. Do I advance it? Like, I'm a little scared.
Ah, that's a tough call.
Shit. All right. Let's just get through these. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's get our 2 safeties.
Whoa.
Our first team, Adonis Harden, Arizona Cardinals, young kid. He's like an 80 normal with like 89 speed. So BMO has been using him all year. Awesome year. 83 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, which is a big time year out of a safety.
Right.
We have 4.5 sacks and then a league leading 21 interceptions, which is big time.
Yeah, he had. Yeah.
So, yeah, look, this guy had an awesome year. You know, we're gonna hear about it too. I'm sure BMO's gonna def him up real soon. You know, it was no Jamar Wooten year like the last 2. I don't think we're ever gonna see that again. But
Yeah, he had somewhat of a down year.
And the second safety is Jamar Wooten. I was tempted to put him on the second team, but you know, I felt like he had a bad year, and I look up at the end, 86 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks, 15 interceptions. So, you know.
I think compared to Jamar, like when he came on the scene and he was all over the place. I think for his standards, it had to have been a down year, even though statistically wise, it probably is not. But I mean, if you compare the stats,
last year I think he had like 19.5 sacks,
right,
24 picks. It was stupid.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the first team. Are we ready to move on to the second team?
I think we are.
All right, I'll try and minimize and fall back on the stats a little bit. But second team.
Nah, you go. We're flowing.
We have Kyler Murray, Buffalo Bills, who threw for about 6,500 yards, 60 touchdowns, 35 picks. He was the one person I went nail to nail with him and Lamar Jackson that put on the first team. But Jacksonville ended up with the better record. Tornetto's a better player. So here we are with Kyler Murray starting us off.
Right.
With the second team. Look, great year. I think he's a 99 now.
Yep.
MJ has like a select few formations and plays and route concepts that he really likes that are very effective.
Right.
And he has a lot of time to develop them because he's good at scrambling and finding time with Kyler.
Yep.
So, he's dangerous. Which is, say what you want about MJ. I think there's a real chance that he might really show us something in the playoffs this year. Like take down a Tornado or attack.
A big guy. Yeah. I agree.
We'll see. Second name, Zach Wilson, Browns. Felt like Taddy barely threw the ball all year. Threw 60 touchdowns, 32 picks. Cleveland was 16-1. A quiet 16-1, if you can believe it or not.
Yeah.
He's like a 99 X Factor. He can make all of the throws now where it's superstar. I felt like he was in handcuffs on a leash just a little bit. So we'll see. I mean, Browns are the Super Bowl favorites right now. So
It'll
if
be
Wilson
interesting.
can get that that second Super Bowl ring, that would definitely put him in that range of top 5 quarterbacks in football.
Right.
Yes, he was. All right, now we have Trey Lance rounding us off with the quarterbacks. Raiders, 6,300 yards, 70 touchdowns, 49 picks. According to Madden, I think he's the highest overall rated quarterback, so credit to Seth. We know what he's going to do, man. He's going to drop back and fucking chuck that ball deep.
And he's
Waddle,
really good at
Hollywood, and Amin Harden, who were all 95 to 99 speeds.
Right.
So, we'll see with the Raiders, man. If Seth's locked in, come playoff time, they can do some damage. All right, now we're going to head to the running backs. And first on the list, I probably should have put him over Devin Mason now that I think about it, is the man in front of me, Chris Pyers, Philadelphia Eagles.
That's right.
1,844 rush yards, 24 scores on the ground, 125 receptions, 1,150 receiving yards with 6 additional touchdowns. So we're looking at near 3,000-yard dude with 30 touchdowns on the ground. And he's sitting on the second team. It's probably my fault. The record might have had a little bit to do with it.
Yeah, the record probably had a lot to do with it because I feel like if we were at least 500, I'd be on the first team. But
it is nice to see that Chris Pyers, like when you go through everybody on the league leaders, he's that white dude with the big beard. Looks just like That's a nice fit he's got in Philly right now.
Right.
And then our second running back, Jordan Hammond, New York Giants. We know what Dale does with these running backs. It's like every year.
It's like a factory.
It's a factory, and then he'll trade him. But I think he's been saying this is the guy he's been drawing his future around now. So, Hammond's a big boy. He's like
he looks huge in the game.
Huge. He carried the ball 356 times, which is, I don't know what that comes out to. It's probably 18 to 24 times a game, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Dale runs the ball a lot. So his hot, and I'll say this about Hammond, and this is typical with Dale, he doesn't throw to his running backs. So the lack of receiving game actually really hurts him for that first team. Because I need to see somebody that does it all. McCaffrey, a Kamara. And, Derrick Henry's are exceptions, but he's super efficient with what he does. Look, J-Ham didn't get to the 2K mark, but 1,940 yards, 27 touchdowns. He's the anchor of this offense. They go as he goes. So
right.
And then our last running back, similar to Hammond this year, but is Cam Akers, who ran for.
He came up out of nowhere.
Yes, but he had a great year for Cooper just because it gave him some balance and stability.
Right.
Where Bobby Dickinson wasn't throwing the ball 50 times a game. So, the games that I played Cooper, Cam Akers was just
a monster.
He was a monster. He would get hit and he would fall forward 3 to 4 yards on every single run. His speed's like a 93, I think, but he's only a star. So he's going to get up to a superstar this year. And I would imagine that Cooper's going to get him up to an X Factor the year following.
Right.
So, there was Seattle obviously had a huge year, and he was a big reason why. There was games that were kind of close. Like, I played Cooper week 7 or 8, and he beat me 21-7. And it was a defensive Cam Akers game where, his defense shut me the hell out, hit me, picked me off, and then Cam Akers just carries the ball 30 times and getting 5 to 6 yards every run. So, yeah, he deserves to be on one of these top 2 teams. Wasn't involved too much in the receiving game, but not everybody is. All right, so that ends the running backs. Now we're going to head to the receivers. Tyreek Hill, first name off the board, 1,800 yards, 115 catches, 2,500 yards, 29 touchdowns. Sorry, Jack. Tyreek's lost a little bit of a step. And a step for him is he's a 98 speed. Look, he's the guy. He's the guy. When if Tyreek finds that wiggle room, and he makes that big play, Carolina is such a different team.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just like catches and yards and touchdowns for him. It's like that personality.
Right.
It gives this team some spunk offensively.
Right. That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Number 2 on the list, we have Taylor Jenkins, Arizona Cardinals rookie. You know, Beamer always finds these speed guys, and he tries and he devs them up, and this kid's the next product. 103 catches, 2,300 yards, 39 touchdowns. You know, he dominated me 2 times this year. You know, he's got so many weapons that you don't really look out for his little fucking normals. He's very creative.
Oh shit! I sent that to you.
I was gonna say.
I just looked at my phone. I was trying to send that to my girlfriend, and I sent it to you. I'm like, why the fuck had she got back to me? My bad. Sorry to interrupt. Huh?
The purple cup or whatever?
No, it's for my vape.
Oh.
So I have like
Dude,
juice for my vape, and
when you texted me, you were like, "Ask me what that purple cup is."
oh
So
no!
I was drinking over there. That's why I started giggling like 30 minutes ago.
All right, my bad. Keep going.
All right, so we're at our third receiver now. We're gonna go Devin Duvernay. Tennessee Titans, 100 catches, 2,300 yards, 28 touchdowns. It's good to see Coach Vrape have somebody on one of these lists. It's been a while. Decent year out of the Titans. I don't know what their final record was.
4 and
I do know he was much more competitive, and it could have easily been a 3-4 game difference here in terms of losses. So Robert likes to throw the ball a lot. He claims he thinks he's like some gunslinger. He's really not. He just runs like crosses and check downs and shit. But Duvernay, nice year, X Factor now. Robert does a nice job of developing talent. I'll say that.
he does.
Somebody that we've heard a lot about to start this franchise, but not as much lately, Jalen Waddle. Raiders, 76 snags. Oh, fuck. You still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Jalen Waddle, 76 snags, 28 touchdowns, like a 99 speed, you know. So
He's a stud.
Seth's not even trying. It's like one of those things where Seth has a motive of getting somebody else the ball right now.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Tight ends, we have 2-bit LA Chargers, 111 catches, a little under 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Coach Harvin told me about this guy like week 2. A tight end, Francis 2-bit. Like, you're going to remember his name, and here we are. So, real nice years. Was close to being a first teamer. Probably should have been for Jose Murphy, but we'll see. This kid.
Yeah, I would have gave him that over Jose just for the matter of user games played. Just me
That's
personally.
a huge deal, for sure, yeah.
You know?
Mark probably would have killed me, though.
Yeah, you probably, yeah.
Yeah. Second tight end is Noah Fant, San Francisco 49ers. 93 catches, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. You know, I've had some high-flying attacks offensively, but I spread the ball around a lot. Especially this year, I had a couple young kids, Greg Ingram and Pat Samuels, that I've been trying to just get. So I had like 7 or 8 guys with probably over like 400, 500 yards. So, but look, Noah Fant every year, it's like 1,100 to 1,600, 9 to like 12 touchdowns. He's been super consistent. If I could dev him up, it would change my offense so much, but I don't know if that will ever happen. You still hear me, or you just vibe?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
We're gonna head to D-line now. We have Chase Young, Buffalo Bills. Oh, I got a sneeze.
Oh, yeah.
So Chase Young, 17 and a half sacks for the Bills. Monster year. Buffalo quietly has a really, really strong defense. He's a huge reason why.
Right.
Now, Crosby, who didn't make one of our lists, but was close. He would be like an honorable mention. One of the best tandems in football right now. All right, so second we have Josh Allen, LA Rams. 17 and a half sacks.
Dude,
Well,
I got something in my eye. It's just
yeah,
yeah, I'm good. We're good.
yeah. Apparently, had a booger flying around. So.
I didn't know if that was part of your beard or what.
Nah, I sneezed.
Uh,
I saw you like fucking jizzing over there. So, all right. So Josh Allen, Rams, 17 and a half sacks. Didn't even know Juwan had him until like the fourth quarter last night when he sacked me 3 plays in a row. But
he's
great
been on the
player,
trade
great
block
talent.
for like all year too.
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy was a stud in Tampa Bay too. So one of the best DNs we have there now. Then third on that list, one and only Za, my team, the Niners, the Robot, 79 tackles, a league-leading 17 tackles for losses for a defensive end, 15 sacks, even mixed in an interception. So this guy, every year, just fills up the stat sheet with something.
Always.
So, he's in. If we made that all-time MML all-league list, one and only Za would be number one in terms of defensive players, not even mine, just probably Keith's and then
Keith was dominant.
Yeah, Keith's one and only Za was getting 60 sacks a year.
Yeah, he was like, it was fucking ridiculous.
We talk about some crazy stats, and nothing was crazier than that. It was like every fucking year.
It's a monster.
All right, we're going to head to the linebackers now, and this is a really interesting core because none of these teams are super standoutish. Dmitry Blitzakov from the New England Patriots, rookie, 105 tackles, 3 sacks, 8 interceptions. One of the most underrated players in football right now is what the stats tell me. Haven't watched much Patriots games, many Patriot games, but
He needs to start streaming.
he really does.
We got to get a feel for what this guy's about.
No matter, like it doesn't. It is either. Like if
He's always ready to play.
He's always ready to play. He's always ready to like a message.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like last night at like 5 a.m., I just like wrote in the group me. I was like, I'm hungry, and this kid likes it right away and DMs me like, "What do you want to eat?" This kid really appreciates the MMO. All right, so our second linebacker, I'm gonna fuck this pronunciation, but Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Miami Dolphins. I actually really like this guy in real football.
Yeah.
Hybrid safety for the Browns, hybrid safety linebacker. 106 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 3 interceptions this year for the Finns, who have an absolutely atrocious defense. But the guy fills it up a little bit. Super athletic, super raw. Tank got him to an X factor like year 1. Might be a superstar, but this guy's a good player. And then lastly, linebacker. Another guy that, I'm going to get a little pushback, but Keith Khalifa, Portland Snowhawks, 88 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 5 interceptions. Probably some guys with a little bit better numbers, but I always look for somebody that might make more of an impact on their own individual team, and guys that like to fill it up with sacks and interceptions. So, 8.5 total. I think he had like 10 tackles for loss. So this guy's a strong player, probably the best player on the Portland Snowhawks. A team that really lacks a marketable player. Like when I think of the Portland Snowhawks, I don't really know 3 guys on their team. So every time I go through their stats, it's always nice to see. This guy flies under the radar. I think he's like an 8 X factor. He's like 24, so
he's at least a superstar.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna head to the corners, and the first name I forgot this guy's first name. I think it's like Javaris. My phone's
Which guy?
dying in a minute. I gotta go grab a charger.
That's cool. We'll after you're done the all leagues, we'll end it, and then we'll start another one.
Okay. What the fuck is this dude's name?
Who is it? What team?
It's Seth Corner. It's like Javaris Davis. I'm looking on that Madden right now. Okay, yeah, this is Javaris. Javaris Davis, Las Vegas Raiders, 73 tackles, 13 picks. Seth always gets these corners with a lot of picks. So I give him a ton of credit in terms of developing these guys. I know like Eli Apple, who has been an NFL bust. Seth got him to a superstar. So
Yeah.
I don't know who his corners coach is, but he does a really nice job, and he should be up for an upgrade or promotion. I would love to see like an LA Chargers go out and hire that guy. But
Right.
our second corner, we have Emmett Rushing, Seattle Seahawks, another guy that's like a 86 star. He's fast. Cooper's done a really nice job developing him, and here we are, 13 picks, 58 tackles. So that Seattle secondary, especially, is just filthy.
Loaded.
He's a
Yeah.
big part of it. And then our last corner is Junior Shields, Baltimore Ravens, first Raven on the list. 57 tackles, 13 interceptions. If you guys don't know who Junior Shields is, he was really the top dollar prospect that Coach Warner got in return for trading Jaleel Fowler to Jawan at the time, who traded him to Hardman. So
Oh,
crazy how
wow.
things work. So Jawan actually took Junior Shields, I think, one pick before Jamar Wooten.
Oh, wow.
So those were the two players I was looking at, along with Seth's D tackle, Tony Santos. Those were the three. Me and Seth were talking the whole time because Seth picked after me, and I liked Shields a lot. But
Right.
I saw Wooten's combine, and I was like, dude, it's just too good to pass up. So,
Right.
yeah, when Shields, Wooten, and then Tony Santos. Let me grab a charger real quick, Chris.
Yep. Comes unprepared. Yeah, Joe. Come on, man. So we got the first and second teams lined up. About to hit it with a third team. We're going to take a little intermission after the all league selections are announced. We'll be right back with the awards and playoff previews. There we go. There's Joey's hand. We're making a little progress. There we go. There he is.
Hold on, was I said charging or no? Fuck.
You there?
See that?
I think we lost him. We'll be right back for a short intermission.